Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with Spain-based entrepreneur and coach Luca Poulariani. He was born in the country of Georgia. Because of the Civil War in Georgia back in 1993, he moved to the Netherlands when he was 2 years old. He lived there for 10 years, and following that, he's lived in Spain, his current home, for the past 16 years. He has endured a life of an immigrant with loving parents in a time before social media was on the level that it is now. He worked his way up, learned, grinded, hardened step by step, and he has many adventures in life, both on the street and in the office, to talk about. We get into this and so much more. Enjoy the interview.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Sure. Okay, I'm in the car right now. That's not a problem, right? You can hear everything I'm saying. Everything's okay.
Yeah, I'm in the car, too. So we're going to have a car conversation.
Very good. Very good. I'm very happy with them.
So, Luca, it's great to meet you. Where exactly in the world are you located?
Right now, my friend, I am in Spain, close to Calpe, close to Benidorm, Alicante, Valencia. Maybe that tells you something.
I'm going to start off here because the world is opening up and COVID's slowing down. How did you survive the last 3 years getting through COVID, and how has it changed the way that you live your life now?
I mean, the way I survived COVID was being able to improvise as good as I could. I had a job at the time that allowed me to work remotely, so I was kind of lucky, and I started that job about 3 months before COVID hit. It was sales through the phone. I was working at one point. You hear me, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I was working. At one point when COVID hit in Spain, it hit hard. And when I mean it hit hard, it means you could not go outside. You could only go outside if you were either going to a pharmacy or a supermarket. And you had to have the bill in your hand just to prove that if the cops stopped you, that you're actually coming from a supermarket or a pharmacy. So it was just a lot of work, a lot of good communication with my colleagues, with people, asking people what were their plan, how to upgrade, update, however you want to call it. Basically, always getting fresh information to be able to be a step ahead of everybody else, if it makes any sense.
It absolutely does. So let me get a better handle on exactly what you do for a living. If I put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids at a career day at an elementary school, and one of the kids looks up and they ask you what you do for a living, how would you answer them? What do you do for a living?
Gotcha. So nice and simple. Okay, what I did before 3 months ago, was making videography for businesses. So I made videos, promotional videos for different types of businesses. Then I got into high-ticket closing, which is basically the same thing that I was doing before that, selling through the phone of high-ticket products, basically meaning expensive products. And of course, the coaching.
Let's get to the beginning. You have a very interesting journey where you were born and raised in your life. Give me kind of an idea of how you got to this point in your life. Tell me about where you were born and raised and growing up and how you got to where you're at today in Spain.
Wow, it's a very good question. Well, how it all began was, like I said, I was born in Georgia, Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia. And because there was a war there and there was a very, very bad situation, my parents, they fled and they became immigrants in the Netherlands, which is Holland, country under England and above. You know, I think everybody knows where the Netherlands is anyway. So I was there for around 12 years. I grew up there. I went to school there. I kind of learned a lot of things there. Obviously, when you're a child, I was 2 years up till 13, 14 years. And then after that, my father managed to go from cleaning toilets in a candy shop all the way up to having his own transport company. So he went from cleaning the toilets to working as a taxi driver, then working for a transport company, then he made his own transport company. Now he's a sculptor, actually, but that's a whole different conversation. That's another conversation. But so he basically opened his own transport company, and that gave him the freedom to be, stand, go wherever he wanted to, kind of like I can do right now with the internet, and be able to take care of business. So because he had the freedom, he chose to go to a more sunny country because Holland is very cold, and it's not really a positive place anyway, if you ask me, compared to Spain. Then we came to Spain 16 years ago, and I had a funny experience. We came with the car because we never been to Spain. We went together for the first time in the car, and my uncle was driving, and we were supposed to actually go to Monaco, France. That was the plan. We weren't even coming to Spain. Sorry, we were not even coming to Spain. So we were supposed to go to Monaco. Then me and my father, we fell asleep, and my uncle took the wrong turn. And basically, when we woke up, we were in Barcelona.
Wow.
So it's yeah, I know. It's a very, very funny, interesting story. So we woke up, we were in Barcelona, and then it's like, hey, what is this? It kind of looks good. So after that, we just continued the journey. We end up seeing the coast of Spain from the north down to the southeast, not all the way down because Spain is very big, of course. And we decided that Monaco is actually not so special after all.
Let me get a little bit more to your core. When you were a kid in the third grade, what was your dream growing up? What did you want to be when you grew up?
My dream? I had many dreams when I was a kid, actually. One of them was to be a lawyer, then another one was to be an actor, and then another one was to be a rapper. And you know, when you're young, you kind of believe everything's possible. If you know what I still believe everything's possible, but when you're young, you change your mind so many times. Pretty cool. Yeah,
for sure. So in your life, you're obviously highly motivated and driven. Who's been a hero for you?
Oh, who's been a hero? My father's been a hero. He's been a hero because he showed me how to be a man, and he showed me how to navigate this life, if it makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. So in your life right now, what is the biggest motivator? What gets you out of bed and makes you accomplish what you want to get done?
What gets me out of bed and actually gets things accomplished is understanding how to become happy. And the only way you can become happy is by taking action every day, because you restart your day. You kind of reset your life every day. And once you go deep enough to understand that if you don't put in the work, if you don't push yourself to grow, you will never, ever be able to be happy. That's my motivation, and that's the reason why I do what I do, because I understand deeply how a human can become happy and why he is not happy.
So how do you get to the end of a day and look back and say that was a good day?
That's also a very good question. How I get to the end of the day knowing basically that I gave my all. That's the most important thing. If you give your everything every day, at the end of the day, you're going to feel it. Did you really give your everything? Did you really put yourself to the max? Did you really went creative when you could, when you should? All this boils down to the feeling of accomplishment. You know, it's just like when you have done something that you know you needed to do and you've done it well. What do you get? You get a feeling, right? It's like a confirmation.
So at this point in your life, we've accumulated a lot of wisdom based on what we've lived and been through. And I'm curious, if you have a dream tonight and you run into the younger version of yourself, and you could give your younger version a piece of advice based on the life you've led and the wisdom you've gained, what would you tell your young version?
I love your questions, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you have a very, very accurate and great question. So, teach you. So you don't have to take 30 years that it took me to get to the point where I'm at now. That's probably what I would say. Plus, I would say focus on discipline. Get yourself discipline, understand discipline. Don't take the easy way or be a pleasure chaser, because it's going to make you hard. It has a mirror effect. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a mirror effect. If you choose the easy path, you're like...
So at this point in your life, with everything that you've done and accomplished, what are you the proudest of?
I am the proudest of the person that I became. That's what I'm the most proudest of. My values, how I think, how I act, how I am with other people, how much I can love people. This is what I'm the most proudest of.
Everyone out there has an idea of who they think you are. Your family, your friends, your clients, colleagues, but you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm a human. I'm a soul who came to this planet to evolve, to grow, to learn, overcome, better himself, and teach other people to do exactly that. That's who I am. I am a messenger. I am the middleman. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's what I think.
Excellent. So let me ask you this. What's been one of the best client responses that you've ever gotten from the work you've done in your life?
I mean, the best feedback that you get are emotions. The happiness of people, you can feel it. It's not more so much words, or it's not more so much, hey, thank you very much, or something. It's something that you can see on somebody's face. You can see on their energy. The energy changes, and they're thankful. They're grateful. I mean, gratefulness is the feedback for me. And I've had many different feedbacks. And to think about what was the biggest, I really don't know. Because I had a lot of different types of feedbacks. Many of them were great. Some of them were less great. Some of them were more great. I don't know. It would not be fair if I choose one over the other, because they were all very unique, special, and great in their own way, if it makes any sense.
Absolutely it does. So now that the world's opening up and things are happening, and, life is moving forward. Let's say we talk in 5 years. What are you going to be looking forward to? What would you be happy to tell me has happened in the last 5 years?
So what I would be happy with to tell you after 5 years would be that, wow, this was a ride. And look at how much we grew, and look at how much we have accomplished compared to 5 years ago. That would be the best thing. Growth. I would measure the level of quality by the level of growth in the amount of 5 years. That's the only thing that you can measure. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. You feel like dying. That's the thing. So in 5 years, the measurement will be through growth. And I want it to be a ride. I want it to be amazing. And I want the trails to be as many people as possible who have improved their life because of me.
That's a great answer. Luca, if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, connect with you, what's the best place and best way to do that?
The best way would be to follow me on Instagram, or just go to my website, www.coachmeluca.com. Luca is with a C. Add me on Instagram, go to TikTok, better Instagram, Facebook, whatever's easiest for you. When you go to my website, you can choose. And just send me a message. I'm a humble man. I'm an open man. So you can always speak with me, explain to me where you need the help, where you're at right now, where you want to go. And I will always do my best to provide as much value as possible.
I believe it, man. Luca, this has been wonderful. You're a great cat, man. Thank you for taking time out. Best of luck with everything.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.